Morning, you wonderful people. Just going on a little circular walk today. Sort of Stowmarket, Onehouse, Harleston. After all this rain, we've actually got a little bit of sunshine and dry weather today, so that's all good. And I want to chat to you about a couple of things on this walk. First of all, we're passing the old Stowmarket Workhouse. No longer a workhouse, but private apartments. A little bit nicer than when it was a workhouse. We're heading along the footpath by Chiltern Way, is it? And then we're going to take a left towards the Paupers graves. If you don't know about the Paupers graves, it's quite a historical site, quite a moving site really, but it was basically the cemetery for the old workhouse. This bit where we're going, there was the workhouse infirmary, little clinic, and then just beyond that, if you didn't make it in the infirmary, was the Paupers graveyard. We've got Stowmarket Rugby Club here up at Chiltern Fields. Don't really follow sports, so I can't really tell you very much about that. Interesting that back here still sort of health service place. I think it's technically private, but I got referred there when I had a dodgy hip and dodgy knee back at the start of COVID, I think. It's interesting because it's in the vicinity of where the old infirmary was for the workhouse. Oh, look at this autumn colours. Those of you who've not visited the Paupers graves, I'll just pop in there. As I said, I've got at least 2 videos where I mention this on the channel, if you want to watch them. But just on this right turn here, you can see this little area is the Paupers graves. So yeah, I think the latest addition, squinting here, the latest addition to this area is this old bath, which I believe was found when they were doing some work here, doing some digging, and it's believed to be one of the old baths from the workhouse or the infirmary. The graves are here with an information board, tells you a little bit about it, and then these 3 crosses here kind of indicate the lines of where people were buried, which is kind of down that way. So there'll be 3 lines. The cross here, you'll see, if I can stop that being so backlit, these metal number plates. So the graves didn't have a name on, but they used to just have a number. And when some work was done here, I think it was the middle school tidying up, these were found some years ago. Some of them are lost, but the ones that remain have been sort of screwed to this cross in memory. And there is if you don't want to walk far, literally just follow this footpath and it comes around in a circle and back out. But I'm gonna go back out now and carry on towards Onehouse. There was a lot of paupers buried there during a smallpox outbreak, I think it was. And when I did the research, it said they didn't make them a coffin or anything. They literally just wrapped up in the bed sheet that they died in. And yeah, kind of sewn into it and then just laid in the grave, I say, with a little wooden cross just with a number on. I mean, it was an awful place. I mean, it's a bit like the flipping benefit system today. Don't get me started on that. And they're just so obsessed with the people mustn't get anything for free, or, you know, people abusing the system, which is always and forever been very, very extremely minimal, even today. Yeah, they just made it so awful so that when a family got taken in, the husband and wife would be separated between the men and women's side, but also any children were taken off them and put on the children's side, and just left their dog mess all across the path. That does get me going. Yeah, to separate the children, even sort of nursing infants would be separated. And then we come to the building site and turn left. Yes, the workhouse. Horrible, horrible places. But, I mean, I suppose the good thing was, if you had absolutely nothing and you were sleeping under a bush or something, freezing to death, it was at least somewhere you could get shelter and some food. But I've looked up the census of who were the inmates, really, and it's like little orphan children, and then sort of widows and stuff, the elderly, and I'm guessing sort of people with some sort of disability or learning difficulties back in the day, who were just horribly considered like the dregs of society and unproductive, and looked down on. This idea that you probably brought poverty on yourself, which is ridiculous. We're approaching Forest Road in Onehouse, and we will go through Onehouse. I then want to go into Northfield Wood. I guess with this low winter sun, you don't know if drivers can see you really. Not exactly where in Hive is today. So at the other end of Onehouse now, turning into Woodland Close here, which I think I'm right in saying goes down to Northfield Woods. We'll find out in a minute, won't we? Yeah, skipped the main bit of vehicle. That's Postman Pat. Yes, no offence to the people of Onehouse, but I skipped over that in the video. So yeah, just walked through the village of Onehouse and turn right down Woodland Close to Northfield Woods. All the logging types, lumberjacks, people are there chopping the timbers. So I got to Northfield Woods, just in case you're trying to follow this so you can do the walk. Yes, as I come into the woods, it was like 3 footpaths, one right, one left, and one right, one straight ahead and one left. So I've taken the left hand one, so I'm going along the side of Northfield Woods, left side, as you're kind of looking at it as you get here. So you can see that you can see the fields on the other side of them trees, and the main woodland is over that side. I come to a bit of a fork here, Bear with. I think my eldest daughter always laughs when I tell her I got lost in Northfield woods. Yeah, there are tracks in this woods. I think this might be one of them. That, yeah. Don't exactly, they're not like on ancient rights of way. So on the footpath map, as you can see, a little blue blob there. Yeah, slightly want to be to the left on that green dotted line, but I kind of hope this brings us back to it really. So the other thing I was going to chat to you guys about is people who are local to Stowmarket. I know a couple of you are in Australia and some in America, so this doesn't really apply to you, but yeah, if you're local, I'm wondering about doing a sort of walks and wonders guided walk that you could come on, and just wondering if that's something you would be interested in. You know what we've got here, don't you?
The Swamp of Doom.
So, yeah, just wondering if it'd have to be a limited number, I guess. But yeah, I suppose we could have up to sort of 8 to 10 people and just go on a little walk if that's something you want to do. But what would be good is if you let me know if there's any interest in the comments. The other aspect to that, I guess, is that I know some of you follow me for the local history, and some follow all these sort of countryside walks, and some follow for both. So let me know which you'd be interested in. And now I'm completely bewildered. Let me just check here again. Where are we? Just gonna walk a bit and see which way the blue dot goes. I always end up coming out the wrong side of the woods. Yeah, I think this is it. We're alright. That would be the other question for the countryside walk. What level of mud can you tolerate? Yes, hopefully we'd do it after some dry weather. But I was thinking so it'd probably be in the new year now. Just got lots of things on. Anyway, if you would be interested in coming on a little guided walk, let me know. Yeah, and then the other question is how far do you want to walk really? I think today we probably easily do 4 or 5, probably do 5 miles today quite easily, and could be a little bit more, so it depends on your ability. I suppose the local history walk around town would be shorter obviously, but yeah, let me know your thoughts. Do you want me to do some guided walks, and what's your preference? A bit of local history or countryside walk? I'm aware that Stowmarket Local History Group do history walks, and they do a great job, and I don't want to step on their toes or steal their thunder. They'll know a lot more than I would anyway. But I have researched a little bit over the years doing this. So let me know what you think. I think I've actually come the right way for once. I think this is the gate I was trying to get to. So this is the exit of the woods on the side near Harleston Church, which we're going to head to. Might be a nice stopping place for some snackage. Oh, it's one of these narrow gates if you're wearing a backpack. No, it's too tight. Not quite sure why you'd make you. I mean, even without the bag, that is quite tight. Dear woodland management people, you make your gates a bit wider. Walkers quite often have a backpack, but even without my backpack, and I'm a very thin person, I was struggling to get my huge bloated body through there. Anyway, yes, we're out on the right side, so leaving Northfield Wood behind us, we're joining up with a footpath here, and we're turning left, which I believe brings us up to Harleston Church, which is a lovely little countryside church in the middle of nowhere. The sky's clouding over a bit now, which I hope that doesn't mean we're getting rain. I think there's some due at tea time, but hopefully not while I'm walking. You know, I've got to say, I do find it difficult just to motivate myself to get out and go on a walk. I really do. Surprisingly, running this channel, but I do. But it's when you get to a place like this, there's just no one around. A little bit of distant traffic noise. You can hear the birds' song. I quite like the change of seasons. I like some bits of summer, but I don't do well in heat waves and stuff. So I'm actually glad that the temperature's dropped a bit.
Winter is coming!
I think a lot of us go into hibernation mode this time of year. The days get shorter. I'm not mad about the sort of dark mornings and going dark early, late afternoon. Kind of feels like it saps your energy and stuff. Any sort of attempt to be creative is drained a little bit in the dark days of winter as we go into winter.
Winter is coming.
But I always think you got to tune into the seasons. You know, society is kind of based on this idea of high productivity. We got the internet, everything's digital. You can zap things around the world in less than a second. So certainly in the commercial world there's high pressure to be highly productive all the time. But I think we miss a trick if you don't tune in to the season, because we're not an observer of nature. We are part of nature, and everything around us at this time of year is slowing down, renewing itself. So the leaves fall off the trees. That's the beginning of renewal, and it's a time of consolidation. I don't know, do the roots, the trees concentrate on sort of their roots during the winter? But there's definite kind of cleansing and renewal as the leaves come off the trees appear to die, but they're actually just resting. Yeah, I think the pressure on humans to be very productive in the dark winter months is quite unnatural. It's very out of step with nature. Flowers do not work hard to bloom in the winter. They rest in refreshing, restoring themselves. And although we all have to make a living, I think there's some way of just calming the frenetic activity down in the autumn and winter days. Knowing that spring is coming, no season is forever, no season of your life is forever. Spring and summer will come, but rather than just be depressed during winter, we can embrace the winter days. Yeah, it's great to kind of open the door and see the garden, if you've got one, see the garden in the springtime when everything's coming into bud, new leaves coming. Yeah, that's all great, but there's something also about just starting the winter day by opening your back door and breathing in that cold, crisp air. And when we get frost, you know, just looking closely at it, observing it, how the frost is decorating everything. And when the snow comes, it's like a fresh page in a new exercise book that's had nothing written in it yet. Even like our celebration of Christmas is overlaid on top of lots of different kind of pagan and ancient beliefs. I mean, we do have a Christmas tree all the time, and I didn't really want it any other way, but I don't think there's any Christian reason for chopping down a evergreen tree and bringing it into your lounge and sticking some lights on it. Speaking of the Christian faith, there's Harleston Church, which we're going to go and have a coffee and something to eat in there. Hopefully there's a little bench in the churchyard. If that's free, I shall take possession of that. Emerged out onto the road here, and I think because it's quiet and the church gate is literally just there, I'm going to risk walking with me back to the traffic. Generally not a good idea, but I think I'll hear something coming before it gets here. And if you're not familiar with Harleston Church, you'll see a little sign saying church on the opposite side of the road. The car is approaching, but I shall turn into the churchyard. That's a great bit of bespoke ironwork, that gate, the name on. You walk up this lovely drive. It's got this canopy of trees, and then you come to the church. Quite a while since I've been here. I forgot it's actually a thatched church. You don't get many of them in the pound. Right. Some interesting gravestones here. So this is John F. Mitchell Fancourt, who died in 1917, and he was really a sort of bigwig in the Stowmarket area, which is why I'm not sure why he's buried here, but he at one time lived in Danecroft Villa. So if you've watched any of my Danecroft Diaries videos, that playlist, you will know that Danecroft Cottage used to be part of Danecroft Villa. Danecroft Villa was a big house with massive grounds, and there's some interesting people live there. I don't know if it's this guy, but one of them was is involved in India, colonial India and the Raj, and in Parliament and stuff, and did all sorts of stuff, quite a lot of it good from what I've heard. And yeah, strange that he's buried here, a couple of villages out of Stowmarket rather than in Stowmarket, but I don't know the story behind that. Oh, there's two benches.
Regarde les vaches. Est-ce que tu nous vois? C'est difficile à dire, la vie sans toi. Est-ce que tu y crois? Je ne sais pas écrire s'il manque de toi.
So before you move on from here, you will see in the churchyard under the tree 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 metal grave markers, and these are all from the Armstrong family, and you will see that they're all children. They all died quite close together. For the details, we're going to go over to a much younger me. Yeah, this is a sad story of these 5 metal grave markers here, all from the same family. Absolutely tragic. Apparently all taken by diphtheria within a few weeks of each other. It's hard to imagine, isn't it, that Charles and Mary Armstrong lost 5 of their children in a single year. I found the Armstrong family on the 1891 census. They began the year with 7 children. After the local diphtheria outbreak, they ended the year with just 2 children, Oliver aged 16 and Sydney aged 9. Charles Armstrong was a local registrar, so he will have recorded the deaths of his own children. He was also a carpenter, and we can only wonder if he also constructed the coffins for his children. A heartbreaking story. Going back down to the church gate now, just the inner one, but we're not going to go back to the road. Remember, we came up through the trees there, we're not going back that way. So if you come out the inner church gate and turn immediately left, there's a track down here, and this should lead us to back to Onehouse basically. It's a long time since I've been down here, but I think it's fairly obvious. I think it's fairly straightforward. You just stay on the obvious footpath. So we're coming up now to a little wooden footbridge. Just carry on between these 2 hedges. Fairly straightforward. When you come to this little junction here, you just bear slightly right towards the hedge and follow the line of the hedge. As you come round the bend, you'll see a gap in the hedge which sort of zigzags onto a footpath. Don't go straight ahead because that just ends in the field. Let's cut through here and onto the small footpath along by the wooden fence. And so we come out on the road at Onehouse. Now, which way do we want to go? Yes, we're going to turn left when we come out of the footpath. What we're looking for now is just a footpath towards Haughley Church, which will be on our right, but it's back down here a little bit. So in about 100 yards can see a track to your right. You can see the little wooden sign there, if you look carefully, saying "to the church." And this sign informs me that this is Church Walk. There's a little bench there, and also a water canister, give your dog a drink. So I head down Church Drive, Church Walk, whatever it was, towards Onehouse Church. You come to this bend here, which bends to the right to go to the church. You'll see a driveway going off to the left. Don't go down there, that's private. And just to the left of that, there's a little footpath down the side of the field, and that's where we're going to go now. You follow this down here till you come through a hedge, and then you turn left on the other side of the hedge and follow that footpath. Come to a fork in the footpath, and you want to take the left hand footpath, head straight towards the trees. Yeah, the other footpath, I'm not quite sure where that goes, but it goes down there. You don't want to do that, or I don't want to do that, so I'm just following this one. And basically you follow this one to the hedge and follow the hedge along there. And then we're looking for there's a left turn off the footpath that will bring us out eventually at Starhouse Lane. So we just come up that green line where you can see the footpath there. When it gets to the hedge here, it turns right along this hedge and just follow it along the side of this field. If you follow this right down, it'll bring you out the Shepherd and Dog pub. If you want to end your walk with a pub lunch or something. But for me, I'm not doing that today. I'm going to walk back into town. Just show you the cut through along here somewhere. Yeah, there's two left turns off this footpath. Ignore the first one. That'll just take you back into Onehouse village. Ignore that, which is this one here. I think, yeah, ignore that one. And it's the next one, which is just here. No, it's not, is it? Yes. Yeah, ignore that first left turn, and the second one is just here. So this footpath goes down to the Shepherd and Dog, but we're going to turn left here on the second left turn. And this is a lovely little cut through here. There's a little bit of woodland in a minute. Slightly spoiled now, the new houses are visible. Used to feel like you were right out in the countryside. But we need houses. Need a lot of houses at the minute. Yeah, just follow this track through the trees and it'll bring you out on Starhouse Lane. And here we are, coming out on Starhouse Lane. And now coming out onto a bit of pavement. Need to just emerge onto the road. Yeah, so this here is Starhouse Lane, and I think it became named that. There's a suspicion, I think Steve Williams told me, that the big house there, I think at one time the guy that lived there was into astronomy. We now heading up Union Road, named after the Union Workhouse where we started the walk. That's why it's called Union Road. I just noticed as I'm walking up this new tarmac way, there's a little footpath off to the right. I'm not going down there today. Whether that connects to Finber Road, I'm not sure it's open at the other end yet. There is a public right of way. There was when they built all these houses. It's a footpath from Finber Road to Union Road. I think that's got to be reinstated at some time. Presumably it'll be tarmacked. Oh, the price of being a YouTube sensation like me. So this gentleman here just said hello. He follows me on YouTube, done some of the walks. That's great, it's really encouraging. It's great for me to know who's watching as well. That reminds me to say, don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get notifications when I put up new videos. But here we are, back at Stow Lodge, which was the old workhouse, pretty much where we started. And I think now I'm going home for put my feet up and have a coffee. Hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, if you're interested in coming on an actual walk, physical walk, leave a comment, let me know whether you prefer countryside walk or a history walk, and also what's a reasonable distance. Is 4 or 5, maybe 6 miles, is that okay? I'm going to leave and I'll see you next time.